Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and today the Kotondo Dust Mites are looking to get themselves back up into an Elite 4 position, but if the Akali Capsules have anything to say about it, they will squash that momentum that the Dust Mites have lost over their last two games. But let us know in the comments below who you think will win. Will it be the Bug types or will it be the Rock types? I cannot wait for this matchup. Let's send it down to the field. Now both these sides actually have a 4-3 record this season, as it is Dreadnought and Lycanroc starting out for the Akali Capsules. It'll be Scyther and Sizzle, the family connection, kicking it off for the Dust Mites, and a mystical power from Scyther immediately is avoided by Lycanroc. This will allow Lycanroc to go for a Volt Switch, targeting Sizzle, gets a good hit there, but it's actually going to go back to the bench. And out in its place comes Tyranitar with that Sandstream ability, immediately kicking up a Sandstorm. Scyther will actually be the only one on the field who will take damage from that, as a peck onto Scyther is super effective from Dreadnought. And Dreadnought is actually quicker than Sizzle, who goes for a Sandstorm, which is a terrible play, and a Sandstorm's already been kicked up by Tyranitar as it is. But Scyther, there it is, taking its first damage from the Sandstorm. It goes for the lick onto Dreadnought, doing very little damage here as Dreadnought responds with the teleport, so it's going to go back to the bench now. No one's happy with their positioning on the field, and out in its place comes Lycanroc. Sizzle now going with the spikes, clearly sick of everybody going back and forth on the Akali Capsules. If anyone comes out now, they will land in those spikes and take damage, so it's a good early play from Sizzle there, as the Grass Pledge onto Scyther, heavily resisted. That move not very useful from Tyranitar there, as Scyther continuing to take damage from the Sandstorm, goes with the ally switch, so even the Dust Mites are switching their positions on the field, switching places with Sizzle there, and we get the Wood Hammer from Lycanroc onto Scyther. Not very effective, but gets an okay hit, critical hit in fact, but Lycanroc will get a little bit of recoil damage from that move, as we have Sizzle going for a super effective attack order onto Tyranitar, and Tyranitar holds on. That was massive damage being done there. Tyranitar with the Aromatic Mist, though it is going to boost that special defense of Lycanroc. Scyther continuing to take damage from that Sandstorm, becoming an easier target every turn. It goes for the scratch, but Tyranitar still holding on after that not very effective move. And we get another recoil move from Lycanroc, this time a Wave Crash into Sizzle. Gets a great hit there, but as I said, Lycanroc does take the recoil damage, and a knockoff in response from Sizzle. Gets a really good hit onto Lycanroc and knocking off its Leopard Berry in the process, as we get the Vacuum Wave onto Scyther. Yet again resisted move, this time from Tyranitar, but it is still taking damage from that Sandstorm here. Scyther, though, is going to go for the Roost. This is a really fantastic play because it is going to get its health restored heavily here, and it was in such easy target range. We get the Shelter being performed by Lycanroc. It's going to boost its defense a great deal here. Sizzle, though, is going for another attack order, and on Lycanroc. Lycanroc holds on by a thread as Tyranitar sets up a Solar Beam. It's going to start to absorb light in this turn. It's not going to do much damage though to whoever it hits on the field, as that Sandstorm has finally subsided. The Dust Mites are given some relief. Focus Blast from Scyther is avoided by Lycanroc. Lycanroc gets the opportunity now to go for the Strength onto Sizzle. Sizzle, it's not very effective on the Steel type Pokemon, and Sizzle responds with the Rising Voltage onto Tyranitar, and the Pseudo Legendary is the first Pokemon taken out of this matchup. Dreadnought comes back out onto the field for the Akali Capsules and lands in those spikes that were set up earlier by Sizzle. And Scyther, after holding on for so long, goes for a Misty Explosion, and it takes itself out. It's going to take down Lycanroc in the process. Sizzle is able to hold on, but barely. Dreadnought is still on the field. It could finish Sizzle off here. Instead, it goes for the Curse. So it is going to lower its speed here, but it is going to boost that attack, which is a base 115. It also boosts its defense in the process, as we get the Powder Snow from Sizzle onto Dreadnought, which is not very effective. Dreadnought tanks that hit, and out comes Arbor for the Kotondo Dust Mites, and it'll be Arcanine in its Hisuian form coming out for the Akali Capsules, immediately landing those spikes, but it has that Intimidate ability, so it is going to lower the attack of the Bug type team. And I say Bug type team at the moment because Arbor is still a Grass normal type, but it has shed that and become a Bug type due to it being a terrestrial Pokemon for the Kotondo Dust Mites. And it takes a beautiful form in the process when that happens, as Arcanine immediately with the Brine will take Sizzle out of this matchup, and it has leveled the playing field at 4 Pokemon remaining each. Dreadnought follows it up with the Scary Face. This is going to lower the speed of Arboliva, but it's already the slowest Pokemon on the side of the bug types. Only 39 base speed as it goes for the Bug Buzz here. And Dreadnought is eliminated with that move. That was a fantastic hit by Arboliva, putting the Dust Mites back in front. And we have Garganacl coming out for the captures. It is Frostmoth coming out for the Dust Mites. Garganacl being hurt by those spikes, and we get the Confuse Ray from Arcanine, who really needs to capitalize on its part Fire typing, as that Confuse Ray will leave Arboliva in a confused state. It may do damage to itself, which we kind of hope not to see because it's always sad, but we get the Sludge Wave from Frostmoth, not very effective on the rock types here. Garganacl looking to respond, going with the Bug Bite onto Arboliva. Critical hit, gets a really good hit from that and steals its Arboliva's Leopard Berry in the process and proceeds to eat its food. That is a nasty, nasty move. As Arboliva still in a confused state. And this time it is unable to shake it off, doing damage to itself. Arcanine looking to capitalize, goes with the Roar, so it'll actually send Arboliva back to the bench. And out in its place is dragged Slitherwing, the bug fighting type, the #1 draft pick for the Dust Mites, as we get the Aura Sphere from Frostmoth. Super effective on Arcanine. Arcanine holds on though, just. Garganacl responds with a Mystical Power, super effective there onto Slitherwing. Really good hit. It's also going to boost that special attack of Garganacl. Arcanine still in this matchup, going with the Coil. It needs to go on the offensive right now, because although it's boosted its attack, it's boosted its defense, and if it takes a hit, it will be eliminated, and its accuracy, great to have boosted, but it may be out of here, and it is, because that double hit from Slitherwing, although not very effective, only needs one. Arcanine is eliminated. Garganacl is the target now for that Mud Slap from Frostmoth, which is super effective. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but does lower Garganacl's accuracy, and if it can't hit a target, it can't eliminate them, as that coaching will fail from Garganacl, because it has no one by its side right now to coach. But now comes Iron Thorns as the last Pokemon for the captures, landing in those spikes that were set up so early in this matchup, and their headbutt onto Garganacl, not very effective there from Slitherwing, but could actually provide a flinch. Iron Thorns with the entrainment, but it does unfortunately fail for the rock type. This is going to allow Frostmoth to go for a Dazzling Gleam. This hits both Garganacl and Iron Thorns, and Garganacl has in fact flinched. This allows Slitherwing to go for the Parabolic Charge. This is going to hit everybody on the field. It's not very effective on Iron Thorns, who is a part of the electric type, and Garganacl is still holding on in this matchup, but Frostmoth could get a very easy elimination of the rock type if it capitalizes in this moment, as Slitherwing is still restoring health after having energy drained from every Pokemon on the field, including its teammate, but a Sticky Web is being thrown out by Iron Thorns. Any Pokemon now that comes back onto the field for the Dust Mites will have their speed stat lowered, but first a tea time from Frostmoth, clearly needing a break, clearly enjoying what it is seeing happening on the field, because the Kotondo Dust Mites are in massive advantage at the moment. They have 4 Pokemon remaining. We still don't even know who their last Pokemon is. The Akala Capsules are down to their last 2, and they are both here on the field right now. Now these Leopard Berries are going to restore the PP for everyone on the field. Everyone in the PokeType League does hold a Leopard Berry, and Garganacl is setting up for a Solar Beam. It's going to begin to absorb light on this turn, but first Slitherwing is going to go for an Echoed Voice onto Iron Thorns. Not very effective, being tanked there by Iron Thorns, even after being a critical hit. This allows a Dragon Breath onto Frostmoth. Frostmoth tanks that hit, but it has been left paralyzed. It may be unable to move, and Garganacl is able to move quicker than it now too, allowing it to go for that Solar Beam onto Slitherwing, which is not very effective on the Bug-type Pokemon. Frostmoth is going to go for a Trop Kick though, and that is not only super effective, it gets the elimination of Garganacl. Iron Thorns is all by itself, and we get a Petal Blizzard from Slitherwing. Iron Thorns holds on, it's not very effective on Frostmoth, but Iron Thorns is such an easy target right now. It goes for a Wrap, but that is avoided by Slitherwing, and Frostmoth is unable to move due to its paralysis. This buys a little bit of time for Iron Thorns, but Slitherwing doesn't care because it goes with the Pound, and it's not very effective, but it is effective enough to get the job done. And the Akala Capsules have lost this matchup. The Kotondo Dust Mites seem to have it all together, and this is what they needed, because they did not want a 3-game losing streak. In fact, this will move them back up into the Elite Four in 3rd place, and next round they will be taking on the Fuchsia Royal Gators. whereas the Akala capsules are going to look to redeem themselves next round when they take on the Goldenrod Aces. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and thank you to everyone who has. But until then, more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.